Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot, with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for those of you that are new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, you will find everything you need to know in the description box, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member of the channel. With that being said, today we are doing Why Were You Born? What is your life purpose? Now, I haven't done one of these before, but I definitely felt called to doing one here recently. I actually have a channeled message that I'd like to get into, but first let's get to our prayer and I will get into that channeled message. It was very strong coming through. All right. And yes, the channeled message today is for the collective. Sometimes I get channeled messages for each of the piles as well, but the one that I'm getting today is definitely a collective channeled message. And it was very powerful when it started coming in, so we're just going to go with it. All right. Okay, my beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come on to this reading, whether it's for the entire time or for a moment's time. Today I ask that you open our hearts and guide us to that which it is that we truly desire. The path that we know is ours to take in our soul, in our heart of hearts, and that internal knowing. Help it to light up like a beacon, guiding us down the right path. And if we falter, I ask that you help realign us with the path that's meant for us, and reminding us always that there really is no wrong path in life. There are simply just divine detours, or even just human detours. We like to take the long way around, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And today I ask that you bring through the knowledge and the wisdom that my tribe needs today in order to sink into the knowing of what it is that's right for them and what it is that they're meant to be doing for themselves. That's going to bring them happiness and joy and feeling of purpose that is so strong that it's completely undeniable. As these words are spoken unto this tribe and over this reading, so shall they be. Amen. Aho, ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. Okay, so I am going to shuffle while I'm talking about the channeled message. But the channeled message that came through was that there's a vast majority of you here that have really been questioning if you're on the right path or not, like feeling like you've done something to fault your journey and feeling empty. There's a sense of emptiness, like a black void. I keep seeing a black void, and then I keep feeling like this is my fault that I feel this black void, that there should be more to my purpose than this. And there is, but oftentimes when we're on our purpose, our path of purpose, we will experience massive ups and downs, and we'll go through moments where we're very clear on what it is that we're supposed to be doing, and then because our path actually triggers us to release negative thoughts and patterns that keep us from creating abundance in our life, right? That's those moments when we're getting triggered where it feels like we're doing the wrong thing, or where it feels like we're not doing what we're meant to be doing. And we have to power through those moments, right? We have to remind ourselves that there's a reason why I chose this, and there was a reason why this was given to me as my path. And we have to remember that no one can create what it is that we're inspired to create, right? We're the only ones that can bring our perception to that, and all the while share our perspective with others, right? And when we share our perspective with others, we're giving others the ability to step in our shoes for a moment. And that's why it's so important for us to create the things that we feel called to create. Because when we do that, we begin to shift and impact the world in a very profound way. And so what Source is saying here is that the reason that you were called to choose to move forward with this project, even though there might feel like there's a void, or even there's like a questioning, like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm a fraud, or, you know, like there's so many other people that are better than me. There are going to be people at every level on the journey, and there is nothing new. There is only different. And what Source is saying is that it's unfair for you to compare yourself to someone else, because that person may have been on their journey for a really long time, and that's why they're so good at it. And you're just starting, or vice versa, right? Maybe someone's just starting and it might seem like, oh, they're so much better than me. But it's that comparison that's like a lead balloon for our hopes and dreams. It just comes crashing down, and we just don't even want to pick it up anymore because it's too heavy and it's too harrowing, and it's like, I don't want to be in that, right? And so what Source is saying is that it is so vital for you to understand and to remember that you're the only person that can create what you were inspired to create. It doesn't mean that it hasn't been done before, but what it means is that you're the only one that can create it the way that you're going to create it. And can you find courage, solace, and knowledge that that has always been more than enough? So we are using the Wild Unknown Archetypes Guide, or oracles today. These are very hard for me to shuffle. I have small hands, and so, yeah. It's not that I have small hands. I have short fingers, I should say. So a lot of people have an easy time holding these. I personally do not. I need to take off my thumb ring. But we're going to get into it and find out what's coming through. So Source, for pile 1, what archetype oracle card will help us understand better why they were born and what their life purpose is? Why was pile number 1 born, and what is their life purpose? What can you share with us? Thank you. All right, and for pile number 2, Source, what archetype oracle card will help us better understand why pile 2 is born and what their life purpose is? Okay, wow, thank you. All right, and for pile number 3, Source, what archetype oracle card will help us better understand why pile number 3 was born and what their life's purpose is? 1 card, please. Okay, thank you. And let's find out what the collective energy is. The Father. Okay, this is an interesting energy to come out, right? Especially talking about our life's purpose. Maybe you didn't have the constructive criticism that you needed as a child from a father figure in your life. It was like, hey, you're doing a good job, but maybe try it this way. This feels like you may have had a father or even parents or guidance systems in your lives that were very, very difficult, very harsh, very brutal, right? Saying, why are you dreaming of that? Like, you're never going to make money doing that, or that's absolutely absurd. You need to come back to reality. That's what I'm getting with this energy here. And that forgiveness of this has been very difficult for you. There's a very dualistic nature here, especially with this being the number 2 card from this deck. There's this very dualistic nature here. And that what you were seeing was the shadow, and how can I find any light in the shadow? And the truth is that you are the light all along. So you need not seek or search for light in the shadow. Rather, you need to embrace that you are the light. And when you embrace that you are the light, you'll be able to release this past system, belief, or toxic negativity, and begin to open up to the possibility of your power and your strength, your abundance, your grace, and know that you are worthy of creating this. When we have a healthy father figure in our life, they're oftentimes giving us additional ways to create things. It's not to deter us from creating things. It's just to give us problem solving and critical thinking and logical skills so that we can face all of life. But a lot of times we're living with generational patterns that create dissonance in our souls, and that gets passed on. And so if you have a family where the men were very harsh or even nearing abuse, right, or even abusive or narcissistic, to let that go and to stand in divine masculine energy can be very difficult, because what does that mean? And that means that we have to refather ourselves and give ourselves credit where credit is due, and remind ourselves we're not looking for perfection. But if today I create and I finish something in this manner, and I like that it worked out that way, but I also get an idea to maybe try this avenue over here, knowing that it's okay to try that avenue and see if that avenue works better for you. There's not right or wrong. It's just simply trying other things to give ourselves critical problem solving skills that we otherwise would not have gained. Let me read this from the book and see what else the Father is telling us here. Okay. 9, let's see, 2, there we go. It says, read poems about the Father, Sharon Olds' His Stillness, William Blake's The Little Boy Lost. And it says, become a student of the masculine energy. Watch the Father in movies, in Shakespeare plays. See the Father as a pattern, not as personal. Exactly. Oh, I love that. I love that. It says the great father, the masculine, and the protector. Alongside the mother, the father resides in the central axis of the archetypal family. The father embodies both light and dark aspects of the masculine. Thus, he is infinitely dynamic and complex. His energy is strong and regal, and embodying such virtues as honesty, wisdom, and loyalty. Yet, ironically and simultaneously, the Father is often absent, literally or emotionally. Through absence or action, the Father eventually reveals that he is neither a king nor a god, but a human being with many flaws and wounds. He is both the guardian and the one who leaves us to the wolves. Here, yet gone, the champion and the failure. The Father can neither resolve or escape this duality. It is inherent in this archetype itself. Witnessing the Father's limitations allows the child to grow beyond the family and into the world. So when in light, it's supportive, strategic, regal, and kind authority. When dark, it's disappearing, disappointing, and devastated by failures. To go deeper, check out Saturn Devouring His Son by both Peter Paul Rubens and Francisco Goya. Wow. And it's on page 65, right? So we're talking about something that's very spiritual for you at this time, is digging into the divine guidance of the Father, but that's also feeling of this reparenting of self that's so vital to the journey. I absolutely love that message, especially for this particular reading. Okay. So we got a little bit of different things to choose from today. I'm still kind of packed up from moving, and I just haven't taken the time to really get my stuff out, which is fine. So we're just going to go with what I've got on hand. All right. So for pile number 1, we have this beautiful chakra charm for you to choose from. Okay. Or we have this dice with the North Node. Okay, for pile number 2, we have the selenite bracelet for you to choose from. or this dice with the North Node. And for pile number 3, we have this cute little RV keychain or bus keychain. Or this dice with the North Node on it. Okay, so pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and whichever pile you feel drawn to, that should be the pile for you. With that being said, I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful chakra charm, or if you were drawn to this dice with the North Node on it, or if you caught the intro and you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on why were you born and what is your life purpose. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out why you were born and what is your life purpose. So Source, why was pile number 1 born? What is their life purpose? What would you like to share with us today? Can you tell us why pile number 1 was born and what their life purpose is? What would you like to share with us today? And if you didn't, in the beginning, I had a channeled message. I will leave a link down below or timestamp down below so that you can catch that as well. Ooh, we've got the 12th house, Gemini energy, and Jupiter. And it's interesting because, you know, if you've been here for any amount of time, you know sometimes bugs will come in on the reading and join us. And it wasn't that long ago that we had a stink bug that totally was hanging out with us for part of a reading. But it's interesting right now, I have a stink bug that's on the window next to me, and they're just so abundant where I'm at, and they fly in whenever, even though I've got one of those net doors. And so he's just chilling on the window right now, and I don't kill him. I always take him outside, because why kill a bug for just being who they are? Like, that just makes me sad. You know, I'm just living my best life, being who I am, not bothering anybody, but oh my goodness. So I'm not that person. I do try to save them, but it's interesting because stink bugs talk about protection, and there's a purpose to this. We've got the 12th house here, which is showing me that you were very spiritual. You may have some very unusual psychic abilities as well, like something that, you know, is not as common, or is common. It could be common, you know, but it does feel very spiritual, like the ability to channel, the ability to tap in. I was getting, before I even started this reading, and now they're showing me again, I was getting the ability to talk or see angels, to talk with or see angels, or the ability to see the dead. Maybe you're psychic medium and you can see the dead, or you're able to converse with the dead. So psychic mediumship here coming in. This could also be like palm reading, candle wax reading, flame reading, smoke readings, any kind of divination like that type, or prophetic visions. You are very intuitive, okay, and you've used that a lot. And I feel like why the stink bug came over in your reading, because he was somewhere way over there not that long ago, and now he's just chilling on the window right now, wandering around. And I feel like what Source is saying here is that you were born to share, especially with Gemini energy here, you were born to share your gifts with the world, to communicate them out into the world. And it's very scary, and also maybe dealing with a lot of negative energy in regards to that, like people who maybe have convinced you like you can't do that, you're gonna you know, open up a door for the devil, or you're going to open up a door for demons, and, you know, bad things are going to happen to you because of this, and you don't want to open the door for them to come in. I feel like that could be a religious background that has kept you from doing this, or that could be just people who have been scared themselves projecting their fear onto you. But with the Jupiter energy here, we see this is actually something that's very fulfilling for you. It's something that's going to give you a sense of helping others and teaching others and sharing very old philosophies that maybe have been buried because of, you know, time moving on and people changing and generations changing. And so you might be bringing back old ideas, or, you know, they're calling it New Age, and some stuff is New Age, but I also feel like New Age is a weird name that we put on things that are, it's old news. Like, it's old news. A lot of these practices they go back generations, they go back thousands of years. Some of these belief systems go back thousands of years, and, you know, we're all calling it New Age. I think New Age is just a way to kind of clump it all together. And what I feel like for you, Pile One, is that your purpose is really to share this gift with others and to help others and to communicate with others. You could have the ability to channel a very powerful being. Like, maybe it speaks through you, maybe they speak through you. And that could be scary as well. You know, like having this ability to channel an individual from the spirit realm in that way can be so scary, because it feels like you have checked out and this being or this entity is taken over your body. But it's because you were built as this type of channel, and Source has ensured and is showing me that your spiritual team is vast, and that they would never, ever, ever allow you to be a channel for some kind of negative entity or harmful entity either, because your spiritual team is humongous. It's like you got an army and they're fighting for you, and you don't, all you have to do is offer, you know, open up to their help, like receive their help. Wow, this is already, don't know why I haven't done a reading like this before, because I'm already know I'm going to be excited about this. Okay. And it's, you know, I can definitely relate to that. When I found out I was a psychic medium, I would never share that with people. I was more comfortable telling people I was psychic because I had been called a psychic before by many of my friends. I had predicted things. But when I found out, like, I really understood what it meant to be a psychic medium, that really scared me, and still sometimes it does to this day, because I receive messages and people are like, how did you know that? Like, my family used to say that to me, or so and so, and I'm like, so yeah, that's interesting, right? But I was really scared to embrace that part of myself, and it's like falling without control, because it's like, how do you know these things that you shouldn't know, right? It's one thing to predict the weather tomorrow, but it's a whole nother thing to share a message with someone that's going to alter their soul and even maybe their belief for the better part of this life. And that's what Source is saying. Like, you're very protected and you shouldn't be worried about that, and that your purpose is to share some sense of wisdom and philosophical knowledge and some type of learning here. And that can come in various ways. It doesn't necessarily mean that you might want to build a spiritual business, but maybe that's just helping people in general and talking to people when you're out and about. That's something that's going to give you some sense of fulfillment. I was getting that someone here is in law, and it's like, how can I apply that to law? But I actually feel like you're already applying that in learning law, because when situations come up, your guides or whoever you channel is actually someone who was a very famous lawyer. And you might know that, and they're helping you really ground down in what's going to be best for the cases that you're taking on. That is a very specific message coming in. So Source, why was pile number 1 born, and what is their life purpose? Can you share that with us? Why was pile number 1 born, and what is their life purpose? What would you like to share with us today, Source? Why was pile number 1 born, and what is their life purpose? guidance. I cannot make this up. Oh my Jeebus. Thank you so much, Source. Why was file number 1 born and what is their life purpose? Thank you. I just love the synchronicities. I love it, love it, love it. Look, on the bottom, innocence with the sun. Yes, okay. You might actually be able to connect with others' auras, or I'm hearing like a very specific message, like you could talk to animals or you could commune with animals, but you could also commune with other spirit animals, like the spirit animal that's been following them around since they were born, that is always there to help them, and you could help them get very specific messages from that. And isn't it funny, he has the praying mantis on his finger, and I was talking about, and he's totally gone now, I have no idea where he went, but the stink bug that was in here too. So that's another synchronicity coming through for your reading. It's like maybe that's, you might get messages from insects and bugs where a lot of people are, you know, frightened by them or disgusted by them, and you're like, wow, they always give me such powerful messages. Like, I don't know why people are afraid of spiders or why people are afraid of these little bugs, like when they always have such valuable messages to share with us. And so you could be working with animal guidance, or you could actually be doing something new that's involving like working with guidance from insects, which would be so cool, which we totally need, right? We definitely do need that. So let's see what we've got here. Yeah, morality. Ooh, okay. This is what I was feeling. We've got this. This is the Queen of Coins, or I'm sorry, the Queen of Swords. We have the 3 of Coins, and then, yes. Oh, thank you so much, Source. We have the Popess coming in here. Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this for you. So let's start with the Queen of Swords here. This energy that there's been people who've been very harsh about this gift. Maybe when you were a child, you were telling people things that you had, like, there's no way that you could have known that. Or even like talking with passed on family members, like maybe great grandpa or great grandma or a great aunt or uncle, or even a grandma and grandpa that had passed away or something like that. It's like people are like, who are you talking to? And you're like, oh, I'm talking to Jane, you know, my grandma. And they're like, what are you talking about? She passed away before you were ever born. And you're like, yeah, I know. And she used to wear these bright red nails and she had these wonderful big hats. And they're like, how do you know that? And you're like, well, I'm talking to her. She's right here. And they're like, you're not talking to her. And it might have freaked people out. Okay. And it doesn't have to be that. It can be anything along those lines. But you having the gift that you had with the Queen of Swords, she's giving me this energy like someone was really freaked out about it, really couldn't handle it, was just next level, like, we gotta stop this. Like, you're too old to have imaginary friends. But your imaginary friends were people who had passed away, and it was like, you know, you knew things that there's no way that you could have known. And that just really frightened someone here. And I feel like it was one person per se. It could have been more, but it does feel like one in particular person. Like you literally maybe gave them a head of gray hair. It's a very specific message, I know, but that's what it feels like. Like you shocked them gray or shocked them white haired, because there's no way that you could have known those things. And that's something that they didn't believe in. Or with morality here, this is someone who is incredibly religious and believed that maybe you were touched by the devil because you had this gift. And you grew up really believing that this was something that was negative, or grew up believing that this is something that needed to be eradicated or exorcised from your soul. But maybe you tried that. Like maybe you tried to find ways to get it out of your soul or get it out of your physical consciousness. Is like, I just don't even want to deal with this anymore. And every time I feel like there's a sense like you maybe got really sick. I do have this really weird pain in my stomach. Maybe you were getting stomach pain, stomach aches and pains, but also you could have been dealing with nauseousness and throwing up and really being sick, like getting sick when you tried that. Okay. And I feel like this is something that still scares you to this day. I feel like this is something, even though there's a lot of synchronicities, there's a lot of messages, maybe you've even watched tarot videos that have told you this time and time again, and you're still like, you know, I get it, I understand that, but what do I do with it? Like, what do I move forward with? And when we look at the Three of Coins here from the Osho Tarot and the Popes, which is the inner voice in this tarot, we see that it's all about you trusting what your intuition is telling you, but also listening to your guidance. And I love this because I was getting that energy that maybe you see angels, and in this card it's an angel in the card, right? And so that one was the one that flipped over first and foremost to be seen, was this angel in this card. Like, seeing that, I feel like you channel angels. I feel like you have a direct link to angels. But it could just be the spiritual realm in and of itself, which, please, it's not one is better than the other. You offer a very unique way of connecting, and that's what's so beautiful here. But with the Popes, it's all about that mystery and that duality of connecting. And part of you growing is understanding that there are going to be people who like what you do, but there are going to be people who, because they don't understand it, they're going to do their best to make you see things from their point. And that's not for you. Like, that, how they see it is their business and their problem. And it's interesting because I never even noticed this before, but there's a little tiny house here. And I feel like this is just reiterating that this is something that was from home while it was growing up, being it's such a tiny little house. It's a tiny, teeny, itty bitty little house. And it feels like this is something that, while it was massive when you were growing up, and it was something that felt like, oh my gosh, if I don't follow what I'm being told, something really bad is going to happen to me. And this could have been someone who told you you're going to burn in hell. Like, really, I feel bad for you because your life is just not going to be good for you at all. Like, people are going to judge you. I feel like this person was the worst person that judged you. And look, isn't it interesting in this? The only thing that's showing is their mouth, like their nose down, but their mouth. This is someone who all they could do was talk. They couldn't see you, and they can't see the value in what you offer because their hands are tied. They're bound by the belief with closed eyes. And we see the clouds up here and the chaos that ensues because they choose to see things with a closed mind. And so you were born with the purpose to channel here, especially with these two together, but really with this guidance card, the Three of Coins, you have an undeniable collaboration with Spirit, Source, God, the angels, your guides, those that have passed on. And this is something that, like, as you grow older and wiser, you're beginning to understand that this is actually something that's very beautiful. But I do still feel some resistance to this, right? Oh, and the Ace of Coins here. Look, and maturity. As you're growing, you're beginning to understand the abundance that this is bringing into your life, and how things were so off balance for so long. And look at how this card and the Rebel with the Emperor. Look at how this card is like growing. There's all these plants inside of this figure. There's all this beauty in the card. There's everything that you can imagine. I do feel like this is like a play at northeast, west, and south. But we have Ouroboros here. It's like what goes around comes around. And eventually you're going to let go of the past and reconnect with that soul part of yourself again and stand in your power. And really bring that out. And the Emperor here is showing me like you're going to boss up. And so you could very well use these gifts to create a unique business, which would be amazing. You absolutely have that right and the ability to do so. But I also feel like this is just a part of your life. This is your purpose. And our purpose doesn't necessarily have to be what brings us money. It's just what fulfills us. But this is something that fulfills you, is always maintaining and knowing that you have this beautiful connection with the spirit realm. And it's never going to go away. Like, there's nothing that can ever detach you from this. Like, oh, okay, yeah, so there we go. Source coming in and saying it is a part of your life mission. Look, we have structure, discipline, life mission, accomplishments, and careers. So house 10. So this is something that you're meant to do right? And I use the North Node to choose on the dice today for that specific reason, because it's our path of purpose is our North Node, but it's something that we're oftentimes incredibly uncomfortable and resistant to. But when we step up into it, we're kind of laughing because we're like, why was I so scared of this? But when you begin to unpack that, you begin to understand that the reason we were so scared of it is because people were projecting on us and we were believing those projections about ourselves. Okay, so we do see that here. This is a part of your path of purpose. I'm actually, because you connect with angels, I'm going to get some angel oracles too. Look at this, your power. So we have the deer energy here with power, and number 11. This is a very spiritual moment for you. This is a very spiritual thing in general, connecting with source. 11 is an incredibly spiritual number, right? But then we have the moon on top of her antlers here, and it's like really understanding your emotional connection here as well. Being able to feel things that you might not have known you could feel, and being able to experience or witness things that people don't understand. Like, how do you know? But it does tap into the emotional well that is the collective. I feel like you've got both feet in. This isn't even just a toe in. You've got both feet into the collective energy in a way that maybe you haven't really tapped into just yet or known that's there. It is already existent. And we have moderation here with rhinoceros, right? And with this energy, it's just saying, like, always take it step by step. Don't try to just become everything all at once. Let it unfold naturally. It will, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself, because overwhelming yourself is just going to continue to scare yourself, and that's not what you want. And that's not what your guides want. That's not what your angels want. You know, they want you to feel comfortable as you move. And there could be this energy that's coming up where I'm just impatient. I want to get there and I'm going to do it as fast as I can. But there's a reason why it's unfolding the way that it's unfolding. Okay? All right, so let's see what we've got. Yeah, ease and grace. Okay, so look at this. He is in figure 4, standing figure 4. And this kind of looks like temperance energy with the water that's going between his hands. This could also be light energy going between his hands here. But you're not going to be a pro at this right off the bat. Okay, like that's exactly what this card is saying. So we're going to ease into it. We're going to give ourselves grace for the things that we mess up on because we're human. But the better that we get at this, the stronger that we get. We're able to stand on just our toes while holding our entire body weight, right? Standing figure 4 is an incredibly difficult posture. And it might not seem like it. It might look easy. And you might make it look easy, but you're also learning how to gain stability and structure and strength and a foundation as you move. And that's what they want you to know. Okay, so let's get an Archangel Michael card. What else would you like pile 1 to know, source? Okay, thank you. And on the bottom, we've got change is coming. I'm here to guide you through this exciting transformation. This is a time of joyous opportunities. Yeah, so you're definitely growing. But it really feels like you're here to channel angels. And I know that's very specific, so please, if it's something else, then it's whatever else it is you feel you're meant to channel. But it really just feels like angels to me. And you could be called a walking angel because you're so close to the angels. You're naturally just channeling them without even thinking about it. We have Creus and Bond. Number 1, abundance, variety, and happiness are making it their way into your life. The time of harvest has arrived. Yeah, and I was saying that earlier, like, when you tried to maybe eradicate this or deny it, even just denying it can bring up that feeling of like, oh, no, we're not supposed to do that. But this is solar plexus chakra energy, and that's where I was feeling it was in my solar plexus, in my stomach. It's like feeling of sick. Oh, I don't want to do this. Like, oh my gosh, like I'm not feeling good. Holy crap, what do I do? All right, let's get some of these. Guiding Star. Ooh. I'm going to move this over. We've got Guiding Star. Amid uncertainty, look to the guiding principles that have steered you before. They won't fail you now. Old truths bring new clarities. Wasn't I saying that on your pile? Like, that it's not new age, it's all old age, but they're trying to clump it into something that makes it new age. And then we have mental mastery. You will master a skill that enhances your mental acuity and analytical abilities. Focus on skill refinement, excel in execution. Yes, that's what I was saying with this angel card, right? It's all about gaining a foundation here, and that's why there's no need to rush this, right? They don't want you to rush this. Celebration. A celebration is coming that will act as a catalyst for your personal growth. Utilize this momentum. So you are growing. Things are shifting for you for the better. Okay, let's get a cosmic energy card. Just one, please. Okay, thank you. On the bottom, we have rebirth. Every end is a new beginning. You're rising from the ashes like a phoenix. Ooh, I love this. Okay, and since this is your path of purpose, and they said this fell out of the deck, windfall. You're about to receive a windfall of money or a pay raise. Okay, so let's see what else comes out real quick for you. Just get one of these real quick for pile number 1. Why were they born? What is their path of purpose? Why was pile number 1 born? Wow. Flying in. Okay, and on the bottom, caution. Use caution when making financial decisions. Okay, so careful to overspend on wants instead of needs, and more going out than coming in. So just being careful with everything right now. Caution is okay, but don't let caution keep you from something that you truly desire, right? And I mean, I'm not talking about like just spending frivolous, like, you know, whatever, frivolously, but really like focus on it. Is this something that I need, or is this just something that I can do without for right now? We have people skills. You have a flair for working well with others. You could be a diplomat, a counselor, a salesperson, or the head of a company. Brighter days is what I'm hearing here with this people skills card. And movement. You'll make good progress now, and you'll be able to overcome any obstacles in your path. Big leaps forward are possible. Okay. So I do feel like they're taking you somewhere that you haven't been before. All right, let's get an angel number. Thank you. On the bottom, we have shift, 565. Take a look at your life and see which areas need to be shifted to bring you more joy. Take the time to reassess your priorities and create a plan for yourself. And I feel like this is just that reminder that it's okay to shift away from those old beliefs. Let's get some life purpose cards out here. What are some life purpose cards for pile number 1, source? Whoa. Body work. Okay, let's get one more. It's that one. Flowers. Working with flowers opens your heart and brings blessings to others through your life purpose. Okay, so connecting, and I feel like that is so powerful because staying grounded, doing what you do, staying grounded is vital. We have body work. Your life purpose involves body working, such as massage therapy, energy healing, physical therapy, or exercise training. So talking or spending time with the spiritual realm to help others heal their body. And then we have strength. Everything you've experienced in your life has made you strong and courageous. Yes, you are so strong. You are capable of doing this. Let's get one of these angel cards and we'll leave it at that. Okay. Oh, they're upside down. My bad. Alright, so we've got exercise to increase your energetic and manifestation abilities. The key to manifesting quickly is to have very high energy levels. The easiest way to increase them is through physical exercise. Choose a fun and meaningful activity so that you'll look forward to exercising and it becomes its own reward. Okay, so you need to maintain your energetic boundaries as well. Okay, so South Node. We have the South Node coming out. Like, you're destined to release any negative ties that are connected to this, okay? Composure. Yeah, regaining your composure for what it is that your gift is. I do feel like there's just this huge resistance energy that's coming in. And regaining access to those gifts has been maybe a challenge for you because you've closed off to it, but it will open up to you. Trust the guidance you're receiving. Archangel Uriel has blessed you with a brilliant epiphany. I am also present to clear away your worries so you can trust your divine guidance. So guidance is the number one thing here, is listening to your guidance and trusting that guidance, even if it feels scary, right? It should never feel bad, but it can feel scary because sometimes they ask us to face part of our fears that we wouldn't otherwise face, right? So that's what this feels like here. We have Cheridwin and Baldwin with see the wonders around you and honor this incarnation. The here and now is the stage on which you will encounter and learn to love yourself. So loving yourself is very powerful. But again, you're opening your crown chakra. We don't want to just work on our crown chakra. And I feel like that's so symbolic as to why maybe you were drawn to this charm. And this is talking about aligning the entire system, the root to the crown. And maybe you've just been working on crown work, and they're saying that it's very, very important for you to work on the system as a whole. So focusing on the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown chakra as a whole system, instead of just focusing on the crown chakra, because when you focus on one, the others can very quickly come out of balance. Self-love. Self-love is the foundation of all love. To love yourself. Wow, this is very powerful. So self-love is something that's vital for you to really begin to embody your path of purpose. Leadership. You're stepping into a role as a leader. You're ready. You're following the crowd in fear of putting yourself out there. It says your career will improve once you accept and step into your power. Exactly. So stepping up into your power, that might be a little frightening, right? This is something that's not, like, it's hard in this world that believes in the physical, and we're asking them to believe in something that we can't see, but we can feel. And it's almost like explaining what is love, right? You can explain what aspects of love are meaningful to you, but that might not mean anything to another person. And so by you embodying yourself, you're just going to teach others that this exists. Adaptability. 765. You are flexible and capable of facing changes. Trust in your strength to navigate any challenges that arise. This is all about you embodying your strength and your power. Healer. Here we go. You have a spiritual gift of healing and a desire to share it with others. A lot of healing energy. So you do feel like you're meant to heal others. You're going to help others by healing others. And then we've got donations, tithing, and charitable work. Give joyfully to the organizations and people who spiritually support and inspire you. And know that your generosity will be returned to you manyfold in miraculous ways. The time, supplies, money, and other resources you donate will ensure that your positive energy multiplies. So anything that you feel called to donate to, you can definitely do that. But I also feel like this is saying, like, there's going to be a lot of people who donate to you because of what you do. So let's take a look at your archetype here. I'm going to read this out of the book. We've got the Queen. Wow. And it is number 11. Oh my goodness. And look at this gigantic moon here in the middle. And the Deer card that we got is also number 11 with that gigantic moon on it. So again, the moon talking about the mystery, reconnecting with our emotional well-being, healing and loving ourselves. Self-love is so vital. And so I feel like for you, your journey thrives the more you love yourself. That's when your journey is thriving. Otherwise, you get energetically depleted, and it's very difficult for you to move on. It's very difficult for you to tap in. Okay, so this says, read Cleopatra's monologue in Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra, Act 5, Scene 2. Then read about Iana, Tara, and Hera. It says, the queen does not accept the hand of a prince, but claims the throne, knowing the king draws near. She's a magnet for the fully embodied masculine and entertains nothing less. The Empress, the Mother Queen, and the Sovereign. Like her counterpart, the King, the Queen has a dualistic nature. Either she presides over the realm with grace and eloquence that comes from the heavens to uplift the spirit of others. Let me just read that again. She presides over the realm with grace and eloquence that comes from the heavens to uplift the spirit of others. So again, that connection with Source. Or she falls into petty contemptuous moods, casting a shadow across the lands. If the king is in the ego, the queen is in the expression of that ego in the world. She's the lotus's bloom, the dancer's bow, the moon's radiant reflection. When the queen is seated in her rightful and righteous place, she is patient and forgiving. She waits for the grace of God and Goddess to move through her, striving and grasping for nothing. To be the benevolent leader, and we've got leadership here. To embody the queen is to settle into deep trust, resolve, and power. The royal queen fears nothing, for divinity itself cradles her heart. When light, you are the embodiment of grace, courage, and resolve, and stillness. When dark, you reign wrathful, self-righteous, and demanding. To go deeper, check out Nikki Giovanni's Ego Tripping, Nina Simone singing Stars at the 1976 Montreal Jazz Festival. Wow. Oh my goodness, this was so synchronistic. I love this for you. I really do. So I hope that gave you the answers you were looking for, at least some clarity to what your intuition's been telling you. But this is what I see here for you. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little moon emoji down below and say, choose to love myself fully and take care of myself so that I have the energy to tap into the infinite well of spirituality that I'm meant to share with others to help uplift the collective. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box below, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member. And with that being said, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this incredibly powerful message. And until next time, pile number one, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this selenite bracelet here, or if you were drawn to this dice with the north node on it, if you're going to focus here, homie. Okay. Or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be a reading on why were you born and what is your life purpose. I do quickly want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Now, I'll get there. We're going to get into it, but before, when I was getting ready for your message, pile number two, when I say the channeled message of change, something is changing. It's like a huge shift for you. And it's coming in quick. And it is something that you maybe are changing your career, maybe you're choosing to change the direction that you wanted to go in, or whatever it is. This could be a change from the spiritual realm manifesting in the physical realm, but there is a change, and it is literally here. It's like knocking on your door. And Source wouldn't leave it alone and was like, you have to say this, you have to say this. And it is a direct message from Source. This is a change that is coming to you right now. And it's something about receiving, okay? Receiving on this path, receiving on this journey. But let's get into it and find out what your reading is going to share with us today, okay? So Source, why was pile number two born? What is their purpose? Why was pile number two born? What is their life purpose, Source? What would you like to share with us today? Okay, so we've got the first house. We've got Virgo energy and we've got Mercury. A lot of communication across the board today, which, I mean, I definitely feel that, right? I feel that because I feel like when we figure out what our path of purpose is, we're meant to share it. Like, we're not meant to keep it to ourselves. We're meant to share it with the world because it will be impacting people, right? Even if it's not a huge group of people, it still will be impacting people. So with the first house here, it feels like something is shifting radically with your appearance, how you look, how you appear to others. And I feel like this is something that you patiently have been working on for a long time. I do feel like there's been a sense of frustration here. We're going to get into it, okay? Like, this might not feel like this is the message, but I have to go with the energy that's coming through here. Because I actually feel like your appearance and how you feel about yourself is part of your purpose. You're like a vibe. You and yourself, and when you're feeling yourself, that's a vibe. And that's what communicates to others, is your vibe. And that's why it's so important for you to feel good about yourself, right? So there's this energy that there's a radical change that has to do with your appearance. Maybe you've been working out a lot, or you changed your hair, you changed the way that you're doing your makeup. And it feels like this is something you've been working on for a long time. So this could be mastery of something to do with your appearance, which is why working out is coming through. But again, it doesn't have to be working out. But I do get a really lean, structured physique is what I'm seeing. But I'm also seeing like very dramatic makeup and very like being someone that maybe you're a makeup artist. Ooh, okay, there we go. Like maybe you're a makeup artist, or maybe you're a coach, and that's coming through. And I do feel like you've been very adaptable on your journey and very capable of switching when you needed to, and you've learned different techniques. And it feels like this is all about humbling you. Maybe at one point you thought, oh, I'm the best of the best of the best. And we all go through that. I feel like that's a very human thing of us. Like, to overcome our ego, we have to deal with our own arrogance. And please don't feel alone in that, right? That's not you being alone. That's just something that a lot of people have to face. Because it's a learned belief. It's a learned thing that we get along the way. And so it's not even me or Source pointing our finger at you at all. No. I feel like that's something that's had to happen, though, is becoming humbled by the process, humbled by the journey, and humbled by what you've gone through, and having to really patiently work at gaining a skill, or patiently work at changing your body. And now it's something that you can share with others, the ups and the downs. Like, everybody talks about progress, but who talks about regression, you know? And maybe there's a point on your journey where you've experienced great regression. And I don't know why they want me to share this right now, but it's coming in. If you don't know who Dave Ramsey is, you can definitely check him out. But it's that same energy. Dave Ramsey was a millionaire. He's a intense financial advisor. He helps people with their finances. He helps them rebuild their finances. And he went from being a millionaire to claiming bankruptcy, to being a millionaire again, to claiming bankruptcy again, and then finally getting things straight and having generational wealth and learning how to manage his money in a way that let him create that for himself. And that's what he shares with other people. But in his story, if you've ever read it, I think it's called The Total Money Makeover. It's been a while since I've read it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. It's his book, not the workbook, but the actual book. There's a point in there where he talks about how he had this attitude that nothing could touch him, and this arrogance that kept him from connecting with people. And it was very humbling for him to not only go through bankruptcy once, but to go through it twice, and to recognize that not everything that we're gifted is permanent, and if we don't take care of it, it can quickly leave. And so that's what this really feels like here. It's like maybe there was something, you were really good at something, and it could be anything, but I do feel like it has to do with the way you present yourself to the outside world. you're really good at this. Maybe you're really good at working out. You're really good at losing weight, or you're really good at building a lean physique, or you're really good at doing your makeup and your hair and looking like you're always with the nines, you know, and something happened where that went away. And I do feel like a sense of embarrassment here. But when you were able to sit with the discomfort, you learned something very valuable about that. And it's given you a sense of renewed interest in what you were going towards, but it's also given you this mentality that, you know, that again, what I was saying, like everybody talks about progression, but who talks about regression? Regression is such a real part of our journey. It's not just, you know, only some people go through it. Everybody goes through it in their lives, because life is not just a constant up. But we've been taught that life is constantly supposed to be moving in this upward direction. You know, and let's talk about when you get older, right? Like as you're young, yeah, you're maybe always moving up in this upward direction, but then you might hit a certain age. Say you hit 40 and suddenly your physical body starts to decline and your health starts to decline, or, you know, like there's a point where we reach a peak and then now we have to decline. That's life. There's no getting around that. Like that is the reality of this existence, because that's where we live at. We're not going to be 100 years old and have the same stamina and energy that we had when we were 20. Like it's just not going to exist, right? So I feel like that's something that you had to get humbled by. This could even be like age. I think maybe you always imagined you were going to look the same for forever, or you were going to always have the same size, the same body for forever. This could be something, and you might be like, what does this have to do with my purpose? But that's what we're getting to, because I feel like you're going to be teaching people this. I feel like you're going to be sharing this with people and helping them to embrace the reality of this existence, and that if all we're ever looking to do is to grow in this upward projection, one day is going to come where we're all going to get humbled by it, because we're going to realize this doesn't actually exist. We can't go up for forever. What goes up must come down, right? Ooh, yeah, exhaustion was coming out with the 9 of Wands. Look at this. Already, let's start it. All right, Source. Why was pile number 2 born? What is their purpose? Why is pile number 2 born? What is their life purpose? Traveling. A lot of Wands energy here. A lot of action-oriented energy coming in. Dealing with a lot of fear. Ooh, okay. So I'll take it. I'll take it. But we have the Miser, and we have the Possibilities card coming out. And I feel like it wants to be this way. All your cards flipped over. Let's take a look at what's on the bottom of the deck. Look at this. Another Wands card. We have the 5 of Wands with totality. And that's what I was saying. Like, I feel like at one point you were flying through the air expecting everything to always work out for you. And I feel like there's something that happened in life that really knocked you down, and you're wondering, like, why the heck did this really bad thing happen to me? And that really bad thing had to happen in order for you to change your trajectory and to step into your power. But your power comes from a sense of vulnerability. And the 5 of Wands is a very interesting card, because it talks about something happening to us and us regaining stability after that in the Tarot Marseille. But it also can talk about being so stubborn and never changing our point of view. And so I feel like it's interesting that the 5 of Wands would come out on the bottom of the deck, because I'm getting a sense that that was what it once was. It's okay, Zoe. Come lay down by me. There's a thunderstorm outside, and she's so terrified of thunder, and so she just can't. But there's this sense that, you know, you were doing something, and it was a marvel, and you've always been a pro at it. Like, this could have been beginner's luck pro, and everybody was like, wow, how are you so good at that? How are you so, you know, amazing at what you're doing? And then something happened, and it was like, I was really good until I wasn't. And it was that moment where it was until you weren't that realigned you with your actual path of purpose. So why you were born. I feel like all of this happened because you were meant to go through it. With the exhaustion and the traveling card here, this is a very interesting energy for me because it feels like you were meant to travel through the exhaustion. And I feel like pile 2, at one point, you didn't even know that you were burnt out. I feel like you were working through burnout and you were just going and going and going. Like, you were the Energizer Bunny here, homie. Like, you were just never stopping, always going, always on the move, always creating, always, you know, learning, always getting better and growing and growing. Again, that upward trajectory, but just as fast as possible. I feel like you were running in as fast as you possibly could. And you see here, this is like a mountainous range all covered in fog. And we see that it was very difficult. What you did was incredibly difficult, right? And you learned a lot. But look, with the miser energy, that's what I was saying, like this arrogance that was coming through. I feel like it's like, oh, I'm destined to be this. Like, I'm destined to have this and no one can touch me. And it's like, a miser is someone who's like, I would say kind of a penny pincher, like they're hoarding money, but they can also, you know, it can be a miser of different things. It doesn't just have to be money. I feel like it was your attitude that was creating that disconnect from your inner stability. And it was a wall. And if you see here, their back is made out of a brick wall. I feel like you were closed off to people, closed off to possibilities, closed off to help from others, closed off to whatever it was that was supposed to help you along your journey. And things had to fall apart for you. And what does this have to do with your journey is that, it's okay, Zoe. Hold on just a second. My apologies. She just about knocked over my table to get right here next to me. It's okay, baby. I feel like what happened here is that it all had to go away so that you could open up to what was possible. But not only that, seeing this from a higher perspective and seeing that the sun still sets at the end of the day. Like, the sun still goes to sleep, even though we know it goes on the other side of the world. But in reality, like, if you think about that symbolically, even the sun goes to sleep. Like, you can't work through exhaustion. You can't work through burnout. Like, you have to take a break. And I feel like you're here to help. It's interesting. I'm getting this business energy. I feel like you're here to help CEOs, business people, people who have very high profile jobs, to remind them to take space and time for themselves, right? Like, the sun has its job to do. And while maybe it seems like it should be on for forever, at one point, it's not always on for forever for us, right? We have nighttime for a reason. We go into the darkness, into the silence for a reason. And that's where your action is. It's almost like instead of taking action, you're teaching people how to receive and how to be open to receiving. And you're communicating this with them. And I feel like you're sharing your story of being humbled, and it's how you appear to others. Maybe you're showing pictures of the past with dark bags and circles under your eyes and just looking like very skeletal, like this guy in this picture, you know, very, very worn out, very, very exhausted. And maybe before you didn't see it that way because you were wearing this extravagant makeup, or you know, maybe you were drinking a lot of caffeine. And I feel like there's this huge shift that happened, this big change that happened, and you went from being this high roller of energy and constant going to, hold on, I'm going to step back and see what happens. And it feels like it came from something that really just, this could have been a divorce. This could have been a health scare. This could have been, you know, anything. This could have been losing finances. This could have been losing your face, like position. That's what this feels like. Like, you lost something of value to you. And losing that thing of value actually helped you see that where you were putting your value at meant nothing. It wasn't getting you further. It wasn't giving you true stability. It was all just an illusion. And it was almost like that was an instant awakening for you. And you're sharing that with the world. This, why we have to humble ourselves. Right? Like, why we have to come back to our internal knowing, and maybe even connecting with the world, and not be these perfectionists and not be these people who only look to a single routine each and every day, but also opening up to the possibility that the day can bring. Maybe you didn't, like, if it was a divorce situation, maybe you had no time for your family because of this constant upward projection, and so you lost touch with maybe your kids or your wife or your husband or your spouse or your significant other, and they left because they felt like work was your mistress, right? And I can't compete with that. And always feeling like there was some sort of competition between you and what it was that you were trying to accomplish. And I do feel like there's nothing that you were seeing clearly while you were doing this. Right? You see this is, you can't see very much in this picture except for this robot and this man who's looking through this little window. You can't see the mountain range because it's covered in fog. You can't really see the front part of this miser because they're turned facing away from us. And this is the first time when we see the whole valley, is when you're opening up to the possibility, what could potentially be in my life? Wow, this is a really strong message. Oh, I need to close the window. Some rain coming in. I got my laptop over here. Alright, we're good. Thank you, Source. Pisces. You could be a Pisces. You don't have to be. You also, Sagittarius energy is coming in really strongly, and Capricorn. We have Pisces with intimacy, intuition, and compassion. So I feel like you went from doing constantly to being with your intuition. Right? And this could have been going from the corporate world to the spiritual world. And that was like that massive change. And that's your path of purpose. That's why you were born. But you were meant to experience the corporate world, because without that perception, you wouldn't have been able to share that with people. Look, Mars, move forward and defend self. Yeah, you're moving away from something that was very stagnant, very routine, right? Very monotonous, it feels like, and opening up to what is. Whoa, this is really powerful. What else, Source? What else would you like to share with pile number 2? Why were they born, and what is their purpose? And that's the funny thing, pile 2. You could very well be incredibly spiritual, but I don't feel like you are. Like, I feel like it's something that you're tapping into, and it's not like, you're not like somebody that's believed in spirituality your whole life. I feel like you were definitely a skeptic, and at one point something shifted. Like, that's the energy I'm getting here. Maybe it was just never on the front of your mind, you know, oh, spirituality exists, but it wasn't on the front of your mind, because I feel like the only thing that was on your mind for a long time was your money. Right? And it's not that your money's not on your mind now, but you're realizing there's other things to gain from by not just focusing on the money and not just focusing on getting better all the time, right? We have freedom with Horse. Yeah, you broke away from something that was very scary and something that was very harrowing. I feel like there's a huge experience that happened that made you break away from it. And it had to happen. And that's sometimes hard, right? Like, hearing that had to happen for us to get to where we are. But the honest truth is that we don't make a change unless we choose to make a change, or unless we're forced to make a change, right? Like, people don't just willy-nilly just like, oh, maybe I'll try to change. No, most people who try to change, they fail at it, right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, it's like New Year's resolutions. We try to change at the beginning of the year, and most everybody's fallen off by the second week, and no one carries it on. But the people who really choose to make a difference in their lives and to change and to become something new are the ones who succeed. But also, you meet people in life who have had something so crazy happen to them that forced them into changing. And so I feel like you're here to share that change. Yeah. Shaman, ancient healing wisdom. You're helping others heal, and you're helping them heal from something that's a very it's like a huge societal construct here. It's something that has been conditioned for us to grow into, and you're helping people understand that that's not what it is. Like, we have this card fall out right here. I'm gonna leave it out. We have lightning with power. This is the duality of life, right? Without thunder, or without lightning, thunder ceases to exist. I feel like you're helping people find peace amidst the chaos that is the corporate world. Corporate world is very difficult. It's very difficult to live in. It's very difficult to go through. And while you might love what you do, I do feel like there's a sense of like still feeling disconnected because of that dualistic nature that exists in the corporate world, and seeing the gluttony and seeing the greed and seeing all of the negative side of it. It's hard to embody and embrace the positive side of what comes from that. Connection, stay connected with others, nature, and the universe. Yeah, so you could be coming from a place of learning how to connect with nature and showing people how powerful that connection with nature is. For you, I want to get a shadow aspect, because I feel like that's going to help us understand this a lot more. What is a shadow aspect for pile number 2, source? Wow, that was just flying out of the deck. Thank you. On the bottom, we have teasing. Dangling partial truths, needing answers, and shifting. So again, that change is coming through here, right? After you learn something here and listening to your intuition, you were able to make a deep change here for yourself. Okay, wow, thank you, planner. We have take financial inventory and see what needs changing. Changing, again. We have event planning, project manager, or professional organizer. It's crucial that you make a plan to make sure each day counts. And I feel like that's what you're learning now, is that planning is different from routine, but routine is also very vital to our day today. But also, if we are only stuck to routine and we never deviate from that, we never give ourselves freedom to experience life. But having a plan, right? We have an end goal. And we never change the goal, but we can change the plan to get there, right? Something might work better for us as we unfold that. We have silence here. Moving in silence while you continue to build. Silence is the best way to increase your personal power. It says, sharing too much too soon. Not everyone is honest and trustworthy. And I feel like you found this out the hard way too. Oy, that's what it feels like. Learning something the hard way here. Alright, let's get one of these for pile number 2, source. It is going to start raining, I guess, so it's been very rainy here where I'm at. I am in the Gulf of Mexico on the coast, and holy Toledo, there's nothing quite like the thunderstorms here, let me just tell you. Cutting ties. You may need to leave your current position and look for something better. Ending a job doesn't mean burning bridges. Go with grace. Yeah, I feel like you've had to cut ties with what you thought was the only way to live. You learned something more valuable, right? And it wasn't easy for you to learn that. It wasn't easy for you to embody that either. So let's get some of these here for you, pile 2. Alright, thank you, source. One more. Justice. Okay. One more, source. There we go. Okay, on the bottom, we've got nutrition. Wasn't I talking about your health earlier, too? We've got you conduct healing work with your culinary skills. So maybe you left the 9 to 5 to come and be a cook. Or maybe you left it to become a nutritionist, or, you know, something that is more regarding someone's health, your health and your well-being, how you're appearing to the world as well. We had justice fly out with your career brings fairness and protection to those who need your help. Yeah, so you're definitely helping others see something with where you're going, this change. I feel like you're changing something. Either you have changed something or you've been thinking about changing something, and it's good for you. I feel like this is the green light for you in regards to changing that. We've got abundance mindset. If you think of your abundance as something that happens in the future, then it will always be one day away from you. See, feel, think, and speak of abundance as something you already have in the present moment, and that is what you will experience. Yeah, You're definitely coming into a more abundant time as well. So let's see what came through for you here with these. The soul. So we were talking about your path of purpose, right? What is your purpose? And we have the soul energy coming out. Like, this has been a part of your purpose all along. But you had to go through what you experienced so that you could share that with others. Yeah, it's been a bit of a rebirth for you, right? There's like a death and a rebirth here. This energy of going through something very difficult in order to find out who you were. So whatever it is that you learned, this is your path of purpose. What you're learning right now from all the difficulties, this is your path of purpose. You might be like, well, that doesn't really narrow it down. But it's because it's going to be so different for everyone. Like, some of you could be going into marriage counseling. Some of you could be going into auric reading. Some of you could be going into the legal system. Some of you could be sharing with how to let go of our connection to the corporate world and really begin to embrace this entrepreneurial mindset. So it's going to be different for everybody, but it's the lessons that you learned from your time of just constantly moving up and the crash that happened after that. What came from that is what you're going to be sharing. Acceptance. Accept others and yourself. Welcome new opportunities. Part of this comes with acceptance as well. I feel like you're going to be accepting what you went through, but you're going to be teaching others how to accept deeply where they are and what they're experiencing as well. And the shadow aspect is escape. Love is an emotional escape for you. Be sure you are getting involved for the right reasons. So with this, isn't this interesting? Because he's walking out this door here, and he's totally taking up the entire door. And here you have this free, open door that nothing is in except for these butterflies, this transformation. So I feel like for you, work was an escape. So work was escape to get away from troubles at home. Work was escape to get away from the thoughts that you were thinking. Work was an escape from getting away from your emotions. It was definitely something that was you were focusing on more than anything else, because to come into the silence was deafening. Protection. Okay. So it says you are being protected from deceit and from situations that no longer serve you. Lie low for a while and you'll be shown the truth. Yeah, you had to leave something that you realized was not good for you to come into this place of silence. Like I said, it was deafening, but to lie low for a while means to draw back and to come into self. So you're showing others how to do that. Strength. Everything you've experienced in your life has made you strong and courageous. I love that this came out for you, Pile 2, because it's showing you are very strong. And everything you've experienced is with a purpose. Leadership. Take charge of the situation. So really, they're not being very specific on what it is your purpose is, because I feel like there's so many of you that chose pile number 2. But I feel like the thing is that you're meant to become a leader for others. You may have also been drawn to pile number 1. There might be more specifics for you there, but I do feel like for you, pile 2, the reason why pile 1 might not resonate so deeply with you is because I feel like being spiritual is something that's new for you and you're still testing these waters, right? We have declutter. You'll feel better and more focused if you'll take the time to clear away the clutter from your living and workspace. Donate what you can to help others who may need your items. Be sure to keep your schedule uncluttered as well, right? And that's what I was saying, like the routine. It's like if all you're doing is routine and your day-to-day is filled up with routine, you don't leave time and space for the possibilities of life to happen around us. I feel like possibilities and the unknown is where things happen for you now. And you're witnessing that and you're experiencing that and you're seeing the magic behind that as well. So why you were born to go through this specific situation. And I know that that's not always like, that's not always something that's like, oh, okay, that doesn't really ease my mind a whole lot. But at the end of it all, the reason you went through it was so that you could lead others through similar situations. You're going to be standing out and showing others that it's not what they thought it once was. Why do I hear that Toby? Is it a Toby Keith song? I ain't as old as I once was, but I'm as old once as I ever was. I can't remember if that's how it goes or not. It's an old song, but I think it's Toby Keith. As good as I once was. You should check that out. If that's right, make sure, like, check it out. I think it's As Good As I Once Was, Toby Keith. check out the lyrics to that, because I feel like that's going to give you some extra guidance as well. Let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. Wow, we have the underworld. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like that's that energy. It's like the darkness and the shadow that you experienced. Look, I opened to the shadow as I was saying that in the book. Oh my Jeebus. Source, you were next level for me here. That is interesting that this came out, right? The unspeakable, the unwelcome, the denied. It's like you're helping others see the shadow of the 9 to 5 world. And it's not that that's wrong, right? That's not what it is. It's not that that's wrong. It's just maybe you were so caught up in the corporate or in the high life, in the high rise, that you failed to see what it was doing to your soul. If you've ever seen, I think it's Need for Speed, the movie, there's a part in there where he's in accounting and he takes off all his clothes, and I don't remember the name of the character, but he takes off all his clothes. Like, he strips down butt naked, okay, and he gets in the elevator with this lady, and she's like looking at him. She's this older lady, and she's looking at him, and she's like scared to say anything, and he goes, "What department are you from?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm from this department." She goes, "What department are you from?" And he's like, "I'm from accounting." And she just goes, "Doesn't it make you feel like you're dying, or doesn't it feel like you have no soul?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so she totally never questions why he's naked. She just totally, there's like this understanding that's happening there. I feel like that's exactly what you're sharing with others. You're stripping down, completely vulnerable, and sharing that part of yourself. And others are agreeing with you. Like, we never saw this either, and we do now. The sun's coming out. It says, search for images of a map of Dante's Inferno. What does the story of epic descent stir in you? And I believe Dante's Inferno was one of the very first fantasy novels that was, that had a world map in it. What is that? I can't remember it, but it's one of the first. It's one of the first of something. Oh my gosh, I can't even think of it right now. Maybe it's not for you. Anyways, it says, one of the earliest stories on record is that of the goddess Inanna's descent. It turns out descending into the underworld is as old as time itself. It says, the nightmare, the ordeal, and the bottom. There's no time to mince words. The archetypal territory of the underworld is fraught with nightmare, suffering, and pain. It is the darkest shadow realm which we try vigilantly to avoid or deny at any cost. Try as we might, the darkness pulls us into its depths through disturbing dream images, unexpected accidents, illnesses, war, conflict, and ultimately death. Not visiting the underworld or denying its existence altogether is what gives you the dangerous power. Traversing it forces us to bow humbly to greater forces that be, while summoning the inner strength we previously underestimated. Take solace that the underworld subsumes everyone, from time to time, making us deeper friends, more intimate partners, soldiers of light amid our shadowy times. Facing darkness and choosing light is the most profound calling of all. When light, it's bravery, depth, facing our deepest fears. And when dark, it's denial, suppression, evil, unconsciousness. Go deeper, read Meeting the Shadow, edited by Connie Zweig and Jeremiah Abrams. Okay, and I feel like, again, going back to Dante's Inferno, I feel like that was one of the very first fantasy novels that was written. I believe it's like it's very old. It's a very old story. But anyways, if that's not right, don't quote me on that. I just feel like that's something, there's like, you're going to be a first that does this. You're going to be a first that helps people see the shadow side of the corporate world. And you're going to be sharing that with others, which is making you become a leadership. And that might sound like others have done it before, but you're going to be doing it in a very unique and different way because it's your experience. You went there and back again, right? A Hobbit's tale. Oh Lord, I can't with you. Something about fantasy. Maybe this is like a dream life for you, something you fantasized about time and time again, and now it's becoming a reality for you. So overall, this is a very deep, very intricate reading, but it explains how intricate your character is as well. Okay, so this is what I see here for you, pile number 2. If you felt like this, what you're reading, leave the little black box. I think there's a black square down below in the comment section and say, it's because I traversed the darkness and was able to embody the light. I am freeing myself along with the collective. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. If you are interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member of the channel. With that, I do want to take a quick second and thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this incredibly powerful message. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this cute little bus keychain, or if you were drawn to this dice with the North Node on it, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on why were you born and what is your life purpose. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time in this space with you. And for those of you that are new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. For some reason, for you, pile 3, I feel like we have to cleanse the area. I just got this very strong sensation that we needed to cleanse the area. So we're going to use the Palo Santo today to cleanse the area. See what's going on. I feel like you're in the process of cleansing your own energy right now, or like letting go of past situations that have kept you from prioritizing yourself and prioritizing your journey. There's a lot of people that are demanding your time and demanding you and pouring their transgressions and their personal beliefs onto you. And I feel like you've had to really cleanse your energy. And it's interesting that that's coming out already in this reading. Let's get to the dice and see what's going to come through them. So, Source, can you please share with us why pile number 3 was born and what is their life purpose? Can you please share with us why pile number 3 was born and what their life purpose is? What would you like to say today, Source? So we've got the 10th house, the Sun, and Gemini energy. Okay, there's a message that's coming through, and when the message comes through, I have to share it. So what is coming through here is that you're walking your path of purpose right now. Like, you're doing what you're meant to be doing, but there's someone or there's a group of people in your energy that it really irritates. And it's irritating them because you're communicating so strongly about who you are. Like, you're not afraid to share about yourself. You're not afraid to say, this is what I'm doing. This is what I like to do to help other people. You're very disciplined. You're very decisive and also incredibly direct. And I feel like there's people in your energy that take that directness as being rude, and it's not, right? Setting boundaries and being direct with those boundaries is not rude, but people who have an agenda will always look at that as being rude, being malicious, being unkind, because it goes against what they want to do, and they don't like that, okay? I feel like you've dealt with a lot of gossip. I felt like you've dealt with a lot of hardships throughout your life. We're going to get into it, but Source has a message here for you. And that's why I was saying, like, I was getting this energy of cleansing right before we started, because I feel like this is what you're letting go of. This is some type of belief that's maybe been burdening your mind or burdening your heart or even your soul for a time, and saying like, oh my gosh, like I'm never going to be good enough, or I'm never going to get away from people like this, or I'm never going to be able to experience what it is that I want because of energies like this. So it's been very difficult for you. But you are shining and you are stepping into a leadership role. And the thing is that if this is a person or a group of people, they're watching you do it. They have to watch you do it because they're so obsessed with your energy. They're constantly checking in on you. They're trying to see what it is that you're doing. I feel like they're watching as you're getting bigger, as you're growing, as you're gaining fame, fortune, success. You're gaining position, status, finances. Like, there's a lot that's coming in here. And so your path of purpose has to do with you being true to yourself. And that might seem kind of like blasé, like what does that really mean? And it's just saying, like, whatever you feel called to is what you're meant to be doing. Like, there is no right or wrong for you, pile 3. There's no right or wrong for anybody, but especially for you, pile 3, there is no right or wrong here. It's whatever you feel called to do. You're meant to create that. You were given creative freedom when you were born, before you were born. Creative freedom in whatever it was that really just set you alight. And it's not that it was necessarily preordained. That's what I'm not getting, that this was something that was really written in the stars, but success was written in the stars for you. But how that success came was kind of like Freebird. It was whatever you wanted. And however you felt, you were going to, like, get there. But I feel like what you've chosen is so different from what everyone around you is doing, that there's been a lot of hardships that's come with that. There's been a lot of ups and downs, but it doesn't matter what you had chose. That was always going to be the case because you were meant to clear your energy, which why we start with the Palo Santo. You were meant to clear your energy of that kind of energy, right? Meh. Like, we don't want to deal with that anymore. And that's what I feel like is happening here. For the 10th house to come out, part of your path of purpose is to communicate with others. And it's so interesting because we had Gemini and Mercury energy come out in all 3 readings. And that was so powerful. So we already have Gemini energy here talking about communication, your thinking mind. It's your mind is what is powerful. It's not necessarily what you do. It's simply how you bring your thoughts and your viewpoints to the world. That's what makes you shine. It's just what is going on inside of you, pile 3. That's what makes you shine, and that's what people are drawn to, and people really see you as someone who's wise and smart and capable of leading them to success in anything in life, really. It might not even be the exact same thing that you're doing. It's just that they see your viewpoints as a way to get to where they're going. Let's get some tarot on it today. Wow. This has been such an awesome reading. I'm actually having a really good time doing this reading, so I'm really glad. Yeah, definitely celebration, adventures in your life. They're coming, if not already experiencing that. And I feel like you feel very ordinary. What's so special about me? Or maybe it's been pressed upon you by others that there's nothing extraordinary about you. But honestly, pile number 3, regardless if there's something extraordinary about you or not, your ordinariness is what actually resonates the most with people. You're so human that others automatically relate to you. And that's what these other individuals can't recognize because they expect it, oh, the only way to be successful is to stand out. But you already stand out because you're so relatable. Yeah, consciousness with the Ace of Swords coming in. Exactly. This is a deep truth that's being seen. It's, you're not doing things that are so unobtainable. You're just doing things like a normal person would, and it's having an impact. All right. Why was pile number 3 born, and what is their life purpose, source? What would you like to share with us? I love this. Yes, the Queen of Cups, receptivity. It's your love, your presence is your purpose. I love this already. It's your presence is your purpose. You being authentic. And of course that's everybody, but there's really like nothing that's saying like, oh, you were meant to be a tarot card reader, or you were meant to be a life coach, or you were meant to be a restaurant owner, or you were meant to be a world famous lawyer, or, you know, there was none of that was written in the stars for you, or written in stone for you. It was literally like, you're meant to be successful. And then whatever it is that you chose to put that towards, the effort towards that, it was going to bring you success. I love this. On the bottom, we have the Two of Cups with friendliness. Yeah, people get you. Like, people, you might not feel as though people understand you or resonate with you. You might feel maybe secluded or ostracized by others. I feel like you're getting away from those darker energies or those negative low vibrational energies, and getting away from those energies is what's helping you begin to resonate more with people. You're seeing, oh my gosh, when I get away from this type of energy, I really do connect well with people. Like, there's still differences here, but your differences are what actually make you both so striking, right? Seeing people who are on a similar journey as you, their differences make them striking to you. It's like, wow, you're so cool. You've learned all this and you have come to this conclusion on your journey. And so you sharing your wisdom and just sharing what you've learned, and what I feel like what you maybe even haven't learned, you've just known your whole life. Maybe as a child you babbled off this random philosophical wisdom and people are like, what? And it was so left park, but it made sense and it was logical and it was sound. But for a child to have these huge wise knowings, that's scary to people. It's like having a kid genius, right? That's scary to some people, and some people try to really shove that back in a box. Like, you can't be that kid genius because you're smarter than me, and that makes me feel insignificant. I feel like that's what happened a lot as you were growing up, and that's what this energy was all about. You've dealt with that, but you were meant to go through that so that you could find people that were going to resonate with you, because you had to realize that this wasn't all that life was about, right? You had to see that some people just aren't going to vibe with you. And I feel like generally, pile 3, you're someone who sees the good in everyone. I feel like even the bad people, I feel like, and I'm using this loosely because I really don't believe in good and evil. I really only see light and shadow. I don't really feel like evil's a thing. And even though people do evil things, it's a choice they make, not because they're evil. And there's a whole long explanation about this. I don't want to get into it. And if you don't resonate with that, please just understand I'm not trying to make you believe that. But I feel like for you, pile 3, like, you're someone who sees people who other people are like, oh, they deserve the death penalty, or they deserve to get what's coming to them. I feel like you don't feel that way. Like, even people that have hurt you, I feel like you've been really hurt by them, but you're still someone who's so kind-hearted, you still wish them the best. But even like with this energy, you recognize that not everybody is at your level, or not everybody is on the same vibration as you, and you wish them the best. You're like, it's cool, we don't vibe, I don't care about not vibing with you, I'm just gonna move on. But I feel like it took a long time for you to get to that point where you weren't constantly being hurt by people over and over again. It would not surprise me, pile 3, if you had really, really huge people-pleasing tendencies growing up. Like, that was something that was very, very difficult for you to overcome. But it's interesting because your mind always said that everybody at their core is good. Everybody at their core is love. And it's just life that takes us down different paths. And so you might see those pathways, and you might see those vibratorial quantum lines and jumps and signatures. There we go. That's signatures that are coming through, where other people see it as black and white, and you see the whole scope of things. And you being you and seeing the whole scope of everything is what helps others to heal. And you are healing others and showing them that the darkness is actually what leads us to our light if we choose to go that route. And for so long, maybe you felt like you were the only person that was the way that you were. And now that I feel you're drawing away from these individuals or energies like this, you're beginning to connect with people who are on similar ground as you. And that's very exciting. If I feel it all the way from my heart, my throat, and into my solar plexus chakra, even all the way into the sacral and the root. Like, I feel it. It's just this long, like, line of like, oh, yes, yes, yes. People get this. There's other people who get this. Oh, I'm so glad that other people like this exist. I'm so glad I'm not alone. And it even didn't really hurt you so much that you were alone. It was lonely, but it was just kind of like, well, I'm glad I'm the person who thinks this way because we need more of this in the world. And so I'm going to share this with people in the world because, you know, like, we need that. We need someone to see things differently. But I do feel like there's a lot of loneliness in your life. Let's see what the center card is. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you have such a beautiful, beautiful energy about you, pile 3. Not that pile 1 and 2 don't. It's just you are someone who literally has always been very aware of spiritual connection, of the oneness that exists. We're not separate from one another. We're all on this big blue planet together. We're all sharing this life. We're all here experiencing what we're experiencing. And really, we're not different from one another. We choose to do different things, but that doesn't make us different from one another. You're someone who sees that. You see beyond the illusions that other people are so quick to believe because it goes against maybe their core values, or it goes against their idea of what's right and wrong, or it goes against, oh, everything has to be black and white. There is no grayscale. And you see everything. You see black and white and grayscale and technicolor and the up and the down and the all around. Like, you see it all. You see it as a whole scope and not just a pinpoint of one thing. And so at points, I feel like you've been explaining this to others, and others are like, that's not right. And you were like, well, but you believe that what you believe is right, and how do you have room to tell me that I'm wrong because yours is so closed-minded, and they're not seeing it that way. So it's like left brain versus right brain, or left wing versus right wing. If you know what I'm saying, you're going to get it. But they were so quick to judge you, but they wouldn't allow you to tell them anything different or to judge them. They would make it a big deal if you judge them. And now it's like you're seeing people who are sharing similar thought patterns as you. Yeah, okay, the miser coming out here. Interesting. There's a lot of people here who wanted to hoard your energy because you made them feel like how they believed was right. And I feel like you were just trying to show them there was no real right or wrong, evil or good. You know, there's only light and shadow and what we choose to go towards, and really that's it, right? There's no, I feel like this is going to confuse some people, but for those, this is very specific for pile 3. You're going to understand this, how I'm saying it. Like, you're going to understand this. There's no, like, disconnection from one another. We are in the illusion that we're separate from one another, and I feel like since a child, you've understood this, which makes me also come to the point that you've lived multiple lives and have ascended in multiple lives to different levels. And I feel like this could be one of your last lifetimes here on Earth, if you choose as a soul, right? We get to choose. There's really no end for us. It's just we get to choose what we do next. But I do feel like you're someone who has mastered this art of seeing the truth and sharing the truth, and that scared a lot of people because it begins to break down the foundations that they have created. But the other thing here is that you're just such this beautiful, kind soul. Like, you're kind, not necessarily nice now. I feel like you're kind always, but you also don't let people bulldoze over you, which is something that you may have fought with as a child. People bulldozing over you or saying, like, you have to agree with how I feel, and maybe feeling like you had to agree with them because there was no other option for you. Wow. But this is your path of purpose. This is why you were born. I feel like you're just living more lives. You have grown from so many other lives, and if you don't believe in past lives, that's okay. You're just very aware of the existence of why everyone is here, and it's just something that you've known. Like, you were born a child genius, right? But you were born like a child genius in the ways of not necessarily the spiritual journey, but just in looking beyond the illusion that everybody believes in. You never believed in it. Venus, give and receive love, find value and see beauty. Yeah, you see everything and it's interconnectedness. Look, and I love that that's what they keep bringing up, and I just didn't even realize this until right now, but see how these trees are interconnected? You have this beautiful pink tree here and this beautiful yellow tree, and in the center they're connecting and making this almost like light orange color here because their leaves are touching each other. That's what it is, that interconnectedness. You've seen that. And you recognize that together we can make something even more beautiful than what we are when we stand on our own. So you're just someone who's very wise and very different from everyone else. But also, whoa, I just dropped a whole deck of cards on the floor. But also connecting with people who are on the journey with you. Peacekeeper, exactly. This is that energy I was getting. A harmonious resolution is possible. You're the peacekeeper for a lot of people, right? You've done so much at bringing in this peace and this calm energy. And I feel like that's why people were like, you have to believe the way that I believe, because you are very validating of others, because you see that it's okay for them to believe the way they believe. And this is your purpose. Like, this is just who you are, but it's literally to just be in your truth and to be in this peacekeeping energy. I feel like you're bringing peace to the world just by being you. And a lot of people have tried to upset that and only use it for themselves. And you learn the hard way that that's not what you're here for. Like, you're here to share this with people who are ready to receive this, not people who only want to keep it. We have shapeshifter. We have transform and unveil your gifts. Yeah, so you're in this place of transformation, seeing things from a very high perspective, being guided by source, also being very authentic and trusting your intuition and not letting people upset you anymore. This is something that you've learned through the grapevine. Okay, so my apologies. I needed to pick up that deck, and I'm also in the process of cooking dinner, so yeah, let's get some more cards here. What else, source? Yeah, I just feel like your purpose is simply to be love. It's really not about what you do, it's just about you being love and bringing love to who you are. We have sleep or stumble. Without significant rest, you might falter at the next critical juncture. Choose sleep, sidestep regret. Look, and isn't sleep a very peaceful action? Oh, that was cute, source. That was a really cute one. I give you that. That was really cute. Yeah, I just feel like you're meant to be peace. Like, you're bringing people solace and peace and grace and truth and understanding of the world. And there's some people who have wanted to keep that to themselves because you made them feel validated, and that was never your job. It was never yours to shoulder to validate their existence. Like, difference. Wasn't I saying that? You felt very different. We have road, future choice, and destiny. Yeah, you're very different, but you're, look, cute and cuddly like a teddy bear, right? Teddy bears bring us solace. When we hug them, they help us feel better. Like, you help people feel better. I feel like you help people realize that they're not alone thinking the way that they are. And they do the same for you. They are like, oh, you're not alone thinking the way that you think, pile 3. And I feel like that's something that brings a lot of comfort to you. We have memories with old acquaintances, old debts, recollections, and prejudices. Yeah, so there's a lot of people here who have tried to keep you to themselves. There's a lot of people here who are like, oh, feeling entitled to your energy, feeling entitled to what you have to offer. Just a lot of different things that they thought that they could keep you around for. And there's just this energy coming in that you had to really let go. You already saw them, though, but I feel like there was an obligation here. Okay, yeah, okay, one more. I feel like there was an obligation for you at some point. Like, they had a specific connection or a specific title in the connection, and that was like obligatory for you. Like, I have to stay around because this is my family, or because these are my friends, or because of XYZ. We have okay, stability, harmony, and acceptance. Like, you had to accept that you'd be okay without them. Number 65, this was a spiritual growth part for you, is understanding that family or these people who have these titles, like, it's okay for you to say no. We have stop, break, pause, and stagnation. But I feel like they really felt the absence of you leaving, because you're embodying who you're meant to be already. Live and learn, experience, training, and development. Yeah, this is definitely one of your training lifetimes. You could be a spiritual teacher, or that's just where you're headed, is to be a spiritual teacher. I feel very strongly like there's this energy where you're just really here to help people. Like, we've got balance. Yeah, maintain balance. You're really here to help people see love. You're literally a walking embodiment of love. Find balance to maintain harmony in relationships. And this is something that you learned in this lifetime as well, is that you don't have to stick around when there's an imbalance, right? No hard feelings, no, feeling bad about it, even though maybe you did, but you had to learn that, okay, this is because they're just different than I am, and that's okay. Yeah, a lot of adventure on your journey. Adventure is the path to new worlds, and I feel like maybe you've traveled a lot. You could be a blogger. That's coming in really strongly. But again, it's not about what you do. It's simply about what you bring to the world. That's what it is, pile 3. Luck. Anything you do now will be very prosperous for you. Your perspective is shifting, your growth, and stomping on your luck. Okay. It says if you believe that you're lucky, you'll create an abundant mindset. Yeah. Tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row. I feel like you're just, everything you touch turns to gold, and maybe you don't see it that way, because I feel like, no, I picked up the deck and this fell out. Oh my gosh, it was on the bottom like this, and it's not even the last card. Both of these fell out together. It says your fortune is improving and you will get a lucky break soon. Collect nuggets of wisdom and you will need them in the near future. Okay. We're just going to leave both of these out because that is so synchronistic. This deck is so huge. Right? There's like 80 cards in this deck. And so for that to come out when we got luck on the bottom, what? Is there another card out of here that you'd like, Source? Okay, shedding. Says you are starting to outgrow your work situation. You need to set higher goals and standards. You work well in healing and medicine. Yeah, you're healing people through love by just being you. And like fast changes came out, and that was the other card that fell out. So there's a lot of changes that are happening for you. You're manifesting now. People are going to watch you manifest. Luck. You're very lucky. You could have a lot of auspicious Jupiter placements, Sagittarius placements on your chart, a lot of auspicious 9th house placements as well. But regardless, it's just whatever you touch is meant to be for you. That's it. I know that sounds weird. Well, we gotta let go of the things that aren't serving us, and it's not even about that for you. It's literally everything you touch begins to form in love, and so you go. I feel like Source takes you places, maybe in your city or in your state or in your country or in life all over. I feel like you've been put places where vibration has been incredibly low. And just by you being there, pile 3, you've raised up the vibration. And that was exactly what you were meant to do. It wasn't anything grand. It wasn't anything specific. It was just by your energy being there, it started to shift people's energy to positivity. Study. We have reading, research, and education help you gain confidence and clarity about your career. So I do feel like you're definitely studying. Again, that energy, live and learn coming through here. This has been a lesson for you this life. But I don't feel, and this might feel unfair, and that's not what Source is trying to point out here for you, pile 3. I actually don't feel like you have any true karma. Like, I just feel like you've already worked through it from past lives. I feel like you've already overcome it. I feel the reason that you've experienced difficulties has simply been to be an embodiment of love for the people who otherwise wouldn't have had that seed planted on their journey. And that's what this is. Like, it's very specific here. We have ask for your needs to be met. Gods and the angels can come together to aid only if you make a free will choice to be helped, and it begins with asking. It doesn't matter how you ask God for help, but only that you do so. The same holds true with clearly asking other people to assist you. So the reason that you get moved around, or the reason that you get moved to places, is because people have asked Source for help, and you're the help. And your soul is like totally cool with that, just by shining. We have sextile, a combination of tension and flow, potential in a rewarding situation. Yeah, you get brought to difficult situations to help raise the vibration. Unseen justice. There we go. Wow. Invisible forces of fairness play around you. Align your actions with integrity to harness their power. Fairness flows through the unseen. Yeah, that is so profound. We have take root. Prosperity grows where the roots are deep. Invest in foundational skills and knowledge. Depth brings abundance. Like, you're so deep. Your soul is deep. Your perspective is deep. Everything about you has very profound depth to it. And people, they see that when they meet you. This is your destiny. I cannot make this stuff up. I can't. Responsibility, road, shackles. You're freeing people from the shackles of the illusion that's around them, the thing that you've already seen through. Indulgence, interaction, joy, and friendliness. Friendliness again. Yeah, you're just a friendly soul. Like, you help give people hope again in humanity. Daydream, optimism, illusion, and delirious. You help them see beyond the illusion. Mechanic. Mend what needs mending. It might be broken, but not all is lost. Consider career mechanic or an automotive, aerospace, repair technician. You can easily fix your finances, but a sacrifice may be needed. I feel like that's a thing. Like, you repair what's broken, and you don't even know what you're repairing, because I feel like this is all done on a soul level. So it's kind of like you're just this vessel cruising around in this life, and there's really nothing that you really need to be focusing on except for being the best aligned version of yourself. And your soul takes care of the rest. That's your purpose. Flowers. Working with flowers opens your heart and brings blessings to others through your life purpose. Staying grounded is very important as well. Heart's desires. The angels are supporting and guiding and protecting you as your dreams become a reality. It's whatever you want. That's it. Whatever you want. Family. Loving your friends and family is central to your life purpose. And I feel like this is why it was hard for you to let go of the people-pleasing energy, because family is very important to you. The idea of family is incredibly important to you as well. And so having to like release that at some point in your life has been very harrowing, and it's been very heartbreaking for you, but it's also opening you up to connecting with your soul family. Raise or promotion. Congratulations. An increase in abundance flow awaits you. This is a result of your positive focus and willingness to take action based on your divine guidance. Keep up the good work. Oh my gosh, I love this. So I do feel like there is definitely abundance coming to you at this time. All right, so we're going to read this from the book and check out what your card is. The Crone. We have the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And the crone is the oldest and the wisest of the three. Oh, and the messenger. The messenger is coming through here. We have number 13, which also connects with the 13 card, or what you might know as death, which is death and rebirth. So you literally walk around and help people, like, basically have egoic deaths and rebirths. Says the crone is the master of letting go and residing in what is. She rejects nothing. Oh my gosh. The crone is often seen with the crow, smoke, night, and the moon. And it says the crone has a difficult time tolerating superficial, petty, day-to-day musings. She moves away from such relationships and seeks a deeper path, even if it means a much more solitary life. So we have the witch, the old woman, and the sage. The crone has seen it all. Nothing frightens or surprises her. She is the final manifestation in the feminine trifecta of the maiden, mother, and crone. In her long life, right? Feeling again multiple lives here. In her long life, she's witnessed endless cycles of death, sex, failure, rebirth, conflict, and regeneration, giving her the ability to rise above the world of duality. She laughs at notions of good or bad, right or wrong. Oh my gosh! Thank you so much, Source! What? Oh, as she has seen the earth churning, smoldering, taking life, and giving life. The crone energy accepts everything in, devouring beauty and suffering with the same mouth, using their energy to reveal hidden secrets and knowledge. Her energy resides in all of us, though it is feared by most for its powerful and unconventional relationship with death and the macabre. Awakening the crone is dangerously rich and unapologetically magic. I love this so much for you, Pile 3. This is next level. What? When in light, you're magic, clairvoyant, psychic, intuitive, and wise. When in darkness, you can be vindictive, bitter, isolated, and ostracized. To go deeper, check out Durmavati and Hecate, Baba Yaga, and Lilith. Oh, that is so... Oh, thank you so much, Source. Just thank you. The energy was so clear. She laughs at notions of good or bad, right or wrong. And I said that at the beginning, like, that doesn't mean anything to you because you don't see it that way. You see the oneness. Oh, I love that synchronicity so much. Just... I feel it all over. I just feel so excited about that. That's so next level. Okay, so what a beautiful reading. And Pile 3, your energy is so necessary in this world. And I'm so honored that I got to connect with you in this way. Truly, truly. If you happen to watch all 3 piles, leave a purple heart down below. That's for all of you that have made it with me through the whole reading. I'll leave that for you. But for Pile 3, if this is your reading and you watched Pile 3 and you really feel like this is your reading, leave a little crow emoji down below and say, I do not see anything in black or white. I see the whole, the interconnectedness, and the oneness of all that is. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member. And with that, I do want to take a quick second to deeply thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your ancestors, your angels, Source, and my spirit guides for coming through to give us this amazingly incredible message, Pile 3. And until next time, stay human. Bye.